Today I'm gonna show you everything you need to know about Cataclysm's Spellbook. We are going to go over every weapons, armor, and item dropped by the bosses, but not the spells. I already have a video testing every single spell on my second channel, so click the link in the description or probably on the screen right now. But if you're here to know everything and how to learn the spell, this is the place. Starting with the biggest school, the new Technomancy spell. So first of all, for the Technomancy spell, you can craft a new armor right off the bat called the Engineer's Armor. This armor is crafted with arcane cloth, just like any normal iron spells and spellbook armor, but you need the Technomancy rune to craft the Technomancy rune. It's simply redstone around a blank runestone. This gives you Technomancy spell power, normal spell power, and armor like any specialized iron and spellbook armor. Now to craft Technomancy spell, you need, of course, paper, ink, but redstone. It uses redstone as its focus, but you can't craft every single spell instantly. Some of them will be locked, and to unlock them, you need to get the Strange Disc, which you can get by killing the Harbinger. Killing the Harbinger can also drop you the mechanical weapon parts, the burst sheath, or the mechanical scraps. The burst sheath goes into your blade sheath slot, and this thing gives you Technomancy spell power, blood power, normal spell power, cooldown reduction, and mana regeneration, and deal double damage to entities with a 15-second cooldown. Mechanical scrap and mechanical weapon part will be used to craft many weapons. The first one being the Murasama. You need a mechanical scrap, witherite ingot, and you get the weapon. This weapon comes with 2 imbued spells and is good for blood magic and Technomancy magic. Now there is a new line of weapon with the Technomancy spell, but first you need to start with the Engineer's Power Glove. These are extremely simple to make. You need 4 leather, 3 gold, and this will give you a glove that you can use to fight, but will also boost your cooldown reduction and Technomancy spell power. Then you can upgrade it with the Mechanical Fusion Anvil and a Witherite Ingot into the Ordeal. This is pretty much the same thing, just stronger. It has 9 attack damage and also has some more spell power. Then you can upgrade this one again on the Mechanical Fusion Anvil with a Laser Gatling to make the Subjugator. And this one is even stronger. The stats are higher, the speed is slower, but it has 11.5 attack damage and comes with an imbued spell, Parting Shot. And then it can also be upgraded once again with Blood Vial and the mechanical weapon parts to make the Night Stalker, which this one will boost the blood spell power, with a Cursium Ingot, which will boost the ice spell power, or with an Igitium Ingot, which will boost the fire spell power. Each one of them come with their own imbued spell. Now, before moving on to the complicated armor, let's look at the spell book. The book is crafted with the Ancient Codex and the Strange Disc that you need to craft the spell. Once you have the book, just simply having the book equipped will unlock every Harbinger spell. You can craft a Technomancy upgrade orb with 8 Technomancy root, and this is used to upgrade your spell power of Technomancy just like any other orb. You can also craft the Mechanical Brace. This is simply a ring of recovery with mechanical scrap, and it gives you a boost in Technomancy spell power, raw spell power, mana. It increased the cooldown reduction, and it says it can be imbued, but that's not true. The text is not correct. This is only a 1.21 thing, and right now I'm on 1.20.1. Now let's move on to the armor. Starting with the 2 simple pieces, the legs and the boots. These are simply upgraded version of the Engineer's Boot with their Witherite Ingot and a Redstone Dust. These are stronger version than the Netherite Battle Mage. They are as strong as Cursium or Ignitium, and they gives you spell power, Technomancy, knockback resistance, mana. Same thing for the pants. But there exist 3 sets of helmet and chestplate. The first one can be crafted with an Excelsius upgrade cooldown, which is crafted with a cooldown orb and 8 mechanical scrap. Then you use this to upgrade the Engineer's hood or the Engineer's suit into the piece you want. So this set will come with better cooldown reduction. The mana upgrade needs the mana orb and will increase more of your max mana. And finally, the spell resistance one can be crafted with the protection upgrade orb, and you guessed it, this one has spell resistance. Alright, moving on to the second new school, the Abyssal School. This one's a bit simpler. There's less stuff, and for this one there is only 1 drop from the Leviathan, which is the Leviathan's Blessing. It gives you 20% Abyssal spell power and give you immunity to the Abyssal spell effect. If you want to unlock the Tentacle Laceration spell, you need to hold a Tile Claw in your hand. There is 1 staff, the Coral Staff, which is crafted with Crystallized Coral, Crystallized Coral's Fragment, and 2 Crimson Plank. And this one gives you Abyssal spell power and cooldown reduction. You can craft an Abyssal rune with Crystallized Coral, which you need to defeat the Leviathan to defeat the Coral Golem. And to craft spell, you need the crystallized coral as a focus. And for the armor, there's one set, but with two types of hood. These are simply decorative. You can swap the type of hood simply by placing an arcane cloth with the other one. Both have the exact same stats. It's just whether you want to see your face or not. But to craft it, it's pretty simple. All you need is an abyssal rune, and just like any specialized armor, you craft it with arcane cloth. This will give you abyssal spell power, abyssal magic resist, max mana, and spell power, along with the normal armor that this armor gives. And finally, there's the Book of Lier, which is obtained by placing a rune book in an amethyst blessing altar. Finally, another use to this altar. Now let's move on to the three smaller faction. There is only one single item for the Ender spell, and it's the Void Staff you need to make an Artificer's Cane and add a Void Core in a Mechanical Fusion Anvil. This will give you the Void Staff with 25% Ender spell power and 25% cooldown reduction. Now for the Netherite Monstrosity, there is the Monstrous Flamberge you can craft with a Netherite upgrade, the Monstrous Horn, and the normal Decrepit Flamberge. This one comes with the Tectonic Tremble and plus 5% fire spell power. For the helmet, once again you need the Monstrous Horn, the Netherite Battle Mage Hat, and a Netherite upgrade giving you the Monstrous Wizard Hat, which has the same effect as the normal Monstrous Helm from Cataclysm, but also has some fire spell power, normal spell power, spell resistance, max mana, etc. And then the Amethyst Crab got its own spell armor. For this one you need the Plagued Armor, an Amethyst Crab Shell, and an Amethyst Shard, and this will give you the Bloodstone set, which give you natural spell power and resistance, a lot of resistance, and it's just like any specialized armor, except that the skirt gives 10 armor, which is a lot. And you can also craft the Bloomstone Staff. You need 2 Amethyst Crab Shell, 1 Amethyst Shard, and 2 stone, giving you 15% natural spell power and 25% cooldown reduction. Now let's move on to the Ancient Remnant. There is one set of armor that you can craft, and you will need a Cobblate Eater Skull, some ancient metal ingots, some Cobbleton bones, to make the Pharaoh's Sacred Armor. And this is a mandatory armor if you want to cast the Thought's Witness, which literally summons the Ancient Remnant for you. Now this armor will give you nature and holy spell power. The Desert Spellbook is dropped by the Ancient Remnant, and the Fake Wadjet Staff is dropped by the Wadjet, giving you 25% cooldown reduction, 10% natural spell power, and 20% holy spell power. So this can make a really strong holy build. Same for the Desert Spellbook, it's 20% nature and holy with 300 mana. Now let's move on to Maledictus. To craft the spell from Maledictus, you need the Frozen Tablet, which is crafted with Frozen Knowledge Fragment dropped by Maledictus and an Ancient Knowledge Fragment. While in the inventory, you can then craft its spell. Now, there's many things you can craft from Maledictus. There is 2 staff. The Spirit Sunderer, which has 5% spell power, 10% cooldown reduction, 25% ice, and 10% mana regeneration, and is simply crafted with the Ice Staff, Cursium Ingot, and the Cursium upgrade. The Soul Brazier is crafted the same way, except that you need a Frozen Knowledge Fragment, and this one gives you cast time reduction, cooldown reduction, ice spell power, but less, but way more mana regen. So this one is more power, this one is more usefulness. Of course, there's the Berserker. We checked earlier that you need the Subjugator to craft, and the Codex of Malice can be crafted with the Ancient Codex, a Cursium Ingot, and a Cursium Upgrade, giving you 30% ice spell power and 300 mana. And now for the armor, you need the Netherite Battle Mage, a Cursium Upgrade, and a Cursium Ingot. This has almost all of the stat of the Cursium armor, the normal one, as well as its unique power, but also has magic resistance, ice spell power, mana, etc. But there's something more on the chestplate that you can get, but you need a Mechanical Fusion Anvil, and it's to put wings on it. So just like the Ignitium armor, you can put wings on your Cursium breastplate, making it a lot superior to what it was once, and you look really dope with wings. And finally, there's the gear from Ignis. Now, to craft the spell from Ignis, just like Maledictus, you need to make a Burning Manuscript. You need Burning Knowledge Fragment dropped by Ignis with Ancient Knowledge Fragment. So holding this in your inventory unlocks its spell. To make the Ignis Spellbook, you need the Blaze Instruction Manual, Ignitium Ingot, and Ignitium Upgrade. Once again, the Combustor, crafted with the Subjugator, Ignitium Ingot, and Mechanical Weapon parts. And for the armor, it is the same thing as the Cursium one. You need the Netherite Battle Mage that you upgrade with the Ignitium Upgrade and the Ignitium Ingot, and it's the same thing as the Cursium one, but for fire. And once again, you can also upgrade on a Mechanical Fusion Anvil your armor to put wings on it. And once again, looking really nice. My only complaint is that the wings doesn't move like the elytra. They are completely static. Like I said, if you want to know every single spell, click on the video in the description and go watch every single spell tested on my second channel. So make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.